Good morning, Flagler County, and welcome to Veterans on Point, a WNZF radio show developed in mind for our county's beloved and respected veterans population and anyone else listening via internet or podcast. I am your host, David Lydon, the Flagler County Veteran Services Officer, and naturally I'm here with my friend and colleague at the office, Eric Flores. Good morning, Eric.
Good morning, Dave, and good morning to all our listeners out there, and hoping, as always, that everybody's doing well, enjoying this cool and warm and cool weather, but this great weather that we have here in Flagler County.
It was a little extra cool this past weekend, but
I can't handle the cool and cold. I can't handle the wind. The winds bother me.
It was windy last Saturday.
It was Saturday. Yeah. It was windy.
It was biting.
Mm-hmm.
But they had it much worse other parts of the country. We can't complain. That's why if you're lucky enough to live in Flagler County, you're lucky enough. Eric and I are your Flagler County Veteran Services Officers. We're at 1769 East Moody Boulevard in Bunnell. That's the Government Services Building. We're in room 108. Our hours are 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. And the office is usually closed from noon to 1 for lunch hour. We recommend that you call for an appointment. And that phone number is 386-313-4014 if you need help with VA claims, whether you're a veteran or a surviving spouse or a dependent of some sort, needs help with your dependent's education assistance paperwork, or, we also help with defense finance accounting service paperwork and much more. So give us a call, 386-313-4014. If you tuned in last Sunday at 9:30 and you didn't hear us, the station had some technical difficulties that we did air at 1 p.m. But if you didn't catch it at 1 p.m., you can listen on the website. Has the podcast, our producer, Mark, post the show onto the website. And it's also YouTube. And that's how some of our loyal listeners recently saw last week's show by going to the YouTube podcast. So, and speaking of our loyal listeners, I know we've got some new listeners too.
Oh yeah,
there's an Air Force couple, veterans named Tammy and Ed, and they told me they've been watching some back shows. So thank you for doing that. And they said they're learning some information from the show, and that's what it's all about.
That's the purpose of it. Correct.
That's the purpose. And let's see, can't forget, of course, Billy Jones, still at the top of the list.
Morning, Billy.
Good morning, Billy.
He called me this week and said he enjoyed lunch with us.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I did too, Billy, so thank you, sir.
Went to Southern Table. It was Eric's birthday was recently, and so was Jeff Kingdon's, and so we went to Southern Table, had some lunch. Sorry, Culvers, we cheated on you this week, but we'll be back. We'll be back, Culvers. But Southern Table's a nice dining experience too. So, all right. So you mentioned Billy, and then we've got. I hope Kay Cairns is still listening, and
morning, Miss Kay.
I know our Marine pal Jeff Kingdon is checking in.
He'll listen.
He definitely does.
Yeah.
And Jeff, of course, is Marine Corps veteran and the current chairman of the Veterans Advisory Council for Flagler County. And Talkin' Tom, haven't heard from Talkin' Tom lately, but he assures me he listens. Did hear from Charlie, and we saw Charlie at the Veterans Advisory Council meeting this past Monday. Excuse me. And his wife, Jen, he listens with his wife, Jenny. And the Queen of Hearts is, they had a winner recently, and they won't be doing another one for another few weeks. That'll start up. And we got Sharon and Bill.
Good morning,
Sharon and
guys.
Bill still listening. And James DeMail Maid. We haven't heard from James. I hope he's okay.
He might be out of state.
Who knows? Have to check in, see what James is up to. But we got Frank Sr. and Frankie Jr.
Good morning, guys.
And Bicycle Frank.
Bicycle Frank. I just saw him today riding his bike east, close to Belterre.
Okay.
Yeah. He's doing well.
Still doing well.
Oh, yeah.
Healthy because he's pedaling every day. So
Pedaling
he's
every
going to live
day.
forever. And then Dennis Byrd, of course. Dennis Byrd, a United States Navy veteran, and he is one of the instructors over at Guitars for Vets. So, Dennis, hope you're doing well. All right. So, as you might remember, we didn't do it last week. So we wanted to talk about the 4 chaplains, and we had a guest here, Ophelia Beyer, but we're down to our final president for our president of the week, and it's number 47. Of course, we did it a few weeks ago as number 45. But Donald J. Trump, on January 20th, 2025, was inaugurated as the 47th president of the United States, marking his return to the White House after a decisive 2024 election victory. Building on his first-term legacy of tax cuts, deregulation, and America First policies, Trump's second term has focused on rapid implementation of campaign promises through executive actions, economic revitalization, and border security. In just over a year, his administration has claimed numerous victories, emphasizing job growth, immigration reform, and international trade adjustments. Economically, the Trump administration has prioritized domestic investment and job creation. But by July 2025, the U.S. economy added a net 671,000 jobs since inauguration, with employment figures exceeding expectations for 4 consecutive months. This surge is attributed to policies like securing approximately $10 trillion in new domestic investments aimed at onshoring jobs and revitalizing American manufacturing. A landmark achievement was the signing of One Big Beautiful Bill on July 4, 2025, which extended and enhanced the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, making individual rates and standard deductions permanent while boosting economic incentives. Deregulation efforts have rolled back numerous federal rules across sectors, purportedly fostering growth and reducing bureaucratic hurdles. Trump has also highlighted business deals and investments totaling $18 trillion alongside achieving most favored nation pricing for prescription drugs to lower healthcare costs. In immigration, Trump declared a national emergency at the U.S.-Mexico border on his first day, imposing a broad asylum ban for migrants and initiating large-scale deportations of violent criminal illegal immigrants. This aligns with his mandate to secure borders, with increased ICE arrests and enforcement actions reshaping immigration policy. On foreign policy, the administration reinstated the Mexico City policy, restricting U.S. funding for international organizations promoting abortion, and rejoined anti-abortion pacts. Trump has maintained a firm stance on Iran, emphasizing nuclear non-proliferation while expressing support for the Iranian people. Energy independence remains a pillar, with executive orders promoting domestic production and causing certain federal financial assistance to streamline operations. Administratively, Trump has been prolific, issuing 235 executive orders, 57 memoranda, and 123 proclamations by early 2026, the highest first-year total since Franklin Delano Roosevelt. These cover trade tariffs, digital assets, and federal workforce reforms, including pauses on diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. Military rebuilding continues with investments to strengthen defense capabilities. Thus far, Trump's term has been characterized by bold, swift actions aimed at reversing perceived declines under previous administrations. Supporters hail these as transformative, with claims that he accomplished more in 1 year than his predecessor did in 4. As the administration eyes further reforms in trade and spending cuts, the trajectory suggests continued focus on prosperity, security, and American exceptionalism. Quote of the week: during a joint address to Congress in early 2025, President Trump highlighted rapid progress by saying, "America's momentum is back, our spirit is back, our pride is back, our confidence is back, and the American dream is surging bigger and better. He added, "Get ready for an incredible future because the golden age of America has only just begun. It will be like nothing that has ever been seen before." Very Trumpian. So that is our 47th president of the United States. And that is the end of our presidents, 1 through 47.
You went quick.
Well, I guess. So what is our next our next bout of history? And I have an idea. So tune in next week, and then we'll start off a new type of history. And like I said, tune in and see what it's all about. But it brings me to the part of the show where I say, drivers, drivers, drivers. The DAV is seeking volunteer drivers to take veterans from their homes to their VA appointments. The phone number to reach the travel manager at the DAV Chapter 86 is 386-439-2122, 386-439-2122, to find out how to become a volunteer driver. You don't have to use your own vehicle if you're a volunteer. The DAV has VA vehicles for that purpose. You do have to be insurable, have a driver's license, have a background check, and a physical. If you are in need of transportation, you can also use that same phone number, 386-439-2122. Please give the DAV at least a week's notice of your appointment so that they can get a hold of a driver from their volunteer list. And you can use that transportation for VA purposes only, like a VA medical center appointment, a VA clinic appointment, like in Daytona Beach or St. Augustine. The medical centers, if you are at Orlando and Gainesville. They have been known to take people to Tampa if you have a specialty appointment that brings you over to the VA over there. They could bring you over to compensation and pension hearings over at the regional office in St. Petersburg. And, of course, for your compensation and pension examinations and for community care network appointments for doctor visits set up by the VA in the community. So if you need that ride, and some veterans don't have transportation, or they might be on medication that prevents them from driving. They might have macular degeneration, which prevents them from driving because they can't see any longer. There's all kinds of different reasons. So it is a very helpful program to help our local veterans. And they will pick you up at your door and bring you to your appointment. Eric, what do we got on our...
I normally talk about the BFW weekly event, but what they have on their website is the same thing I have. And Charlie told me that they got
to update things.
Yeah, they have to update things. So
okay.
I don't want to put some information that is not
VFW
accurate.
And Samantha, if you're listening and you want us to promote your events, then get with Eric. Got his email, you got his phone number, and we'll continue to do that for you. But we don't want to put out incorrect information and have people go to the VFW if we're not giving out good info. So
correct.
All right. So what did I want to talk about today? So one of the things I want to talk about is if you come to our office and you ask us to be your power of attorney for VA purposes, and you do that VA form 21-22 that we complete so that we can be your claimant representative, and we're helping you with claims, and all of a sudden we go into your claim file and we see that you've been opening other claims, whether yourself at your home computer or you've gone someplace else.
Fishing.
Then personally, I don't know about how Eric does it. I don't micromanage, but what I do is say, you obviously don't need my help anymore, and best of luck, because I can't be your best consultant and claimant representative if you're opening claims that I don't know about, because that could interfere with claims that we've already opened. If you haven't consulted me about the type of claim that you're doing and how you're opening it, and you did it wrong, I'm not going to be chasing after you to fix that.
Yeah,
So And that happens, and it doesn't happen a lot, but it just happened recently, so I'm gonna mention it.
Yeah. In another word, I say you're on your own.
You are on your own. Best of luck.
Best of luck.
Because
don't come back crying.
There are plenty of folks who come to see us who instill their trust and maintain that trust that we're going to do a great job for them, and we do. So if you think you can do it better yourself, or you're going to shop around, as I call it, and then open claims elsewhere, then you don't need our help, and we've got other people that do need our help. So enough said on that. I do have a couple of dependency and indemnity compensation victories. Now, if you don't remember what DIC is a survivor's benefit for a spouse whose veteran spouse passed away from a service-connected disability. And one of them is from the veteran passed away in 2023, had a heart condition. He died of COVID, but had a heart condition. And when the spouse came to me to look into it, I found out proved that the veteran is a Blue Water Navy vet. So he served aboard a ship within 12 nautical miles of the coast of Vietnam, which under the law presumes that he was exposed to Agent Orange. And then we had to get his medical records. That took a little bit. And then we had to find if any of his health conditions that contributed to his death are some of the ones that are presumptive to Agent Orange exposure. And eventually we did prove it. It wasn't easy, Eric, because the doctor wrote very doctorly, very hard to read, doctorly writing, very hard to read. But I did see a clue in the veteran's file when the VA sent it for an examination. They had a doctor examine the records, and the doctor wrote in there that it appears that the veteran had chronic hypertension because he was prescribed medicine for it, but there was nothing in the record that confirmed the diagnosis. So we had to go back to the veteran's doctors from a couple years ago and get them to interpret the scratchy doctor handwriting and confirm that yes, we did have a diagnosis of hypertension for the veteran. So once we got that proved, it took a year, but the surviving spouse was granted her benefit. So
I don't know about you, Dave, but I have proud in every claim that we do or that I do, but I love the challenge one. Okay, I love the claims that are really the veterans claim that are really challenging to us, but I really love the surviving spouse claim that are challenging also, because most of the time, when the veteran's still alive, they have two income, but when there's a surviving spouse, she loves a big income,
right?
And I'm pretty sure you do too. I get a kick when things like that get approved, because that really helped the surviving
definitely
spouse.
Because they're we notice that a lot, that surviving, they're not all of them, but quite a number of surviving spouses are hurting financially because, like Eric said, they lose that other income. And that's what is so gratifying by fighting these fights for the surviving spouse. And I have another one. This one's from 2022. The veteran passed away in 2022, and spouse came to me asking me to look into it. And what we discovered is that he had diabetes, but it never showed up on his death certificate. And of course, he's another Vietnam veteran. And diabetes is one of the presumptive conditions for exposure to Agent Orange. And once we worked with the medical doctor who, in 2022, did the medical certification of the death certificate, doctor agreed, yeah, diabetes should have been on the death certificate. So they got it on there. We got it up to through Jacksonville to the vital statistics, and they updated the death certificate, and everything worked out. And so that's another surviving spouse who is going to get her benefit because we go the extra mile in our office. So again, very proud of these. These are the ones that that make my day, make me want to come into work
absolutely
every day. So,
and that's one of the reasons why. I mean, I don't want to kick myself in the chest, but that's what I just received a call from somebody. He live in the county, but his dad live in Palaca. He want me to look at his dad claim. I say, I'm sorry, I can't do it. But a lot of people have been calling, from out of the county, calling our office to see if we can help them. Even from the other side, and we say that before, from the other side of Florida, from the West Coast, and because we really go an extra mile.
Yeah, and so somebody from Union County emailed me last week saying that he found our office on a website as one that goes the extra mile, and he said he couldn't get a hold of his veteran service officer in his county, but I helped him. I put them in touch with one another. He had the phone number, a couple numbers transposed, so that's why I wasn't getting a hold of her. But I reached out to her via email and a phone call and put them in touch. So I'm trusting that he's getting his claim worked on. So the other thing, Eric, that we're going to talk about this week is what they call the offset. So this is kind of a narrow audience. Again, it's for our retirees who receive service-connected disability compensation. And so the VA compensation offset, often called the VA waiver or VA offset, primarily refers to a long-standing rule affecting military retirees who also qualify for VA disability compensation. Under federal law, veterans cannot receive full military retirement pay and full VA disability compensation at the same time without an adjustment. This prevents that the government views as double dipping for the same period of service. So as a result, retirees must waive a portion of their DoD military retired pay equal to the amount of their VA disability compensation. The offset is handled by the Defense Finance and Accounting Service. The VA disability payment itself is tax-free, so many retirees end up with a similar or better net amount after the swap. This creates the VA offset situation where retirement pay is reduced. Relief programs to mitigate or eliminate the offset, two main programs allow concurrent receipt. That's where you can receive both benefits with little or no offset. That's the concurrent retirement and disability pay, or CRDP, which automatically is applied. No separate application is needed for eligible retirees. It restores waived retirement pay for those with a VA disability rating of 50% or higher and typically 20 plus years of qualifying service. Allows receipt of full military retirement pay plus full VA disability compensation with no offset. CRDP is taxable as part of retirement pay. Combat-related special compensation, or CRSC, for retirees with combat-related disabilities must apply through your branch of service. Eligible with any VA rating of 10% or higher if combat-related. The VA waiver still applies, but CRSC provides a separate tax-free payment to reimburse some or all of the waived amount. Often results in three payments: reduced retired pay plus VA compensation plus CRSC reimbursement. In summary, without CRDP or CRSC, the offset reduces retirement pay by the VA amount. With eligibility for one or both programs, many qualify for both, and you can choose the more beneficial one in some cases. Most modern retirees, especially those rated 50% or higher with combat-related issues, can receive both benefits in full or nearly full, eliminating or offsetting the traditional waiver. This has been the core framework since the early 2000s phase-in of the concurrent receipt, with no major changes that are indicated in recent rules as of 2026. For personal situations, check with va.gov, Defense Finance Accounting Service, or your branch's CRSC board, as eligibility depends on specific ratings, service history, and disability causes. Recent VA updates affect compensation amounts, but not the offset mechanics themselves. So, in simpler terms, if you're a retiree, We've got 2 minutes left. So if you're a retiree and your VA rating is less than 50%, the easiest way to say it is you're going to get the offset, which means whatever your VA disability amount in dollars is, they deduct that from your pension and pay it to you on the VA side tax-free. Once you get to 50% or higher, you'll get your full pension again and your full VA compensation. So, having said that,
pretty much we're trying to get them to the 50 or above.
When we see our retirees,
oh yes,
and we're sympathetic to retirees because we're both retired from the service as well. We're going to look for it. We're going to, can't make something out of nothing, but it's our job to look through your record, to talk to you and find out what is there. How can we get you to that at least 50% so that you're not getting that offset, and which is it's unfair to retirees, but that's the law. But like I said, we're going to try to help you get there. So I know Eric does it, I do it, and probably most of our service officers around the nation, they take that seriously as well. So we are down to the time where I must say that no country, no state, no community does more for veterans than the United States of America. The great and free state of Florida, the wonderful Flagler County, the loveliest city, Palm Coast, and the also wonderful Bunnell, all of our beautiful beach cities. I ask you to be a victor, not a victim. Be educated, not indoctrinated. And most importantly, be kind to someone today or many someones. Eric, final thoughts.
Thanks a lot for listening and watching to our show, and I hope everybody doing great. You do great this week, and I will see you next week. Thanks again.
Again, our phone number, 386-313-4014, Flagler County Veteran Services.
Give us
Thanks
a call.
for listening.
Bye-bye.